3 complete practice tests. Practice Test 1. Section 1. Listening Comprehension. Find the directions for this test in your textbook and read along with them as they are read to you on the tape. This section tests your ability to comprehend spoken English. It is divided into 3 parts, each with its own directions. You are not permitted to turn the page during the reading of the directions or to take notes at any time.
Part A. Directions. Each item in this part consists of a brief conversation involving 2 speakers. Following each conversation, a third voice will ask a question. You will hear the conversations and questions only once, and they will not be written out. When you have heard each conversation and question, read the 4 answer choices and select the one, A, B, C, or D, that best answers the question, based on what is directly stated or on what can be inferred. Then fill in the space on your answer sheet that matches the letter of the answer that you have selected. Here is an example. You will hear,
"Do you think I should leave this chair against the wall or put it somewhere else?"
Over by the window, I'd say.
"What does the woman think the man should do?" You will read, A. Open the window. B. Move the chair. C. Leave the room. D. Take a seat. From the conversation, you find out that the woman thinks the man should put the chair over by the window. The best answer to the question, "What does the woman think the man should do?" is B. Move the chair. You should fill in B on your answer sheet. Now let's begin with the first conversation. Number 1.
Excuse me, do you know which apartment Sally Hill lives in?
Sally Hill? As far as I know, she doesn't live in this apartment complex at all.
What does the man imply about Sally Hill? Number 2.
Roger, may I use your phone? I think mine is out of order.
Feel free.
What does Roger tell the woman? Number 3.
Were you able to solve that math problem?
To tell you the truth, I found it simply impossible.
What does the man say about the math problem? Number 4.
Uh-oh, your roommate's making dinner again. Your kitchen is going to look like a tornado hit it.
Maybe not. Last night he cooked dinner and left the kitchen spick and span.
What does the man say his roommate did? Number 5.
How did you learn so much about trees?
Mostly from my father. He studied forestry in college.
How did the man learn about trees? Number 6.
Hello.
Hi, Tom. This is Brenda. Since you couldn't come to class today, I just thought I'd call to tell you what Professor Barkley told us. He said we're going to have to write a research paper.
Really? And how long do we have to finish it?
What does Tom ask Brenda? Number 7.
Julie certainly seems to like classical music.
She doesn't like just any classical music.
What does the woman imply about Julie? Number 8.
How did you do on Professor Dixon's history test?
Probably not too well. I skipped a couple of questions and I didn't have time to go back to them.
What does the man say about the history test? Number 9.
I can't seem to get the lid off this glass jar.
Maybe you could heat it in some warm water.
What does the woman suggest? Number 10.
This desk must be an expensive antique.
It may look like that, but I got it for next to nothing.
What does the woman say about the desk? Number 11. Traffic downtown was terrible today.
You don't have to tell me.
What does the woman imply? Number 12.
I wish my classes were over so I could get out and enjoy the sunshine.
Nice out there, isn't it?
What does the man mean? Number 13.
Gary's using that old tape player of yours.
He's welcome to it.
What does the woman mean? Number 14.
I'm going to make a run for it. You don't happen to have an umbrella I can borrow, do you?
No, but here's a newspaper.
What does the man imply the woman should do with the newspaper? Number 15.
I think Ed is the best choice for president of the student assembly.
So do I, now that Margaret's dropped out of the race.
What does the woman mean? Number 16.
Did you paint your apartment by yourself?
Actually, I got my brother to help. He owed me a favor.
What does the woman mean? Number 17.
I'd like to go swimming this afternoon, but it's such a long walk to the lake.
I know a shortcut. Let me show you on this map.
What does the woman offer to do for the man? Number 18.
I can't tell if this picture is straight or not.
I'll hold it while you stand back and take a look.
What are these people doing with the picture? Number 19.
I'm going to Stephanie's house. I have an assignment to complete and I need to use her computer.
Why don't you buy one of your own? Think how much time you could save.
What does the man suggest the woman do? Number 20.
From what I saw, your volleyball team needs a little more practice.
Only if we want to win some games.
What does the man imply? Number 21.
Have you seen Shelley recently? The last time I spoke to her, she said she hadn't been feeling too well.
Well, when I saw her this morning, she was the picture of health.
What does the man say about Shelley? Number 22.
Everyone's getting a little impatient. Can't we call this meeting to order?
Once Lou gets here, we can.
What does the man mean? Number 23.
Marianne, are you going to buy those sunglasses you looked at?
I wouldn't buy that pair even if I could afford them.
What does Mary Ann say about the sunglasses? Number 24.
You can't expect to become a tennis pro after just a few lessons, Ken.
I shouldn't have had such high hopes, I suppose.
What did Ken probably expect? Number 25.
We only have a few more points to talk over.
Good, because I need to wrap this up soon.
What does the man want to do? Number 26.
Can I help you?
I'd just like a couple of books of matches, please.
What does the man mean? Number 27.
Should I take California Street or Oak Street to get downtown?
What difference does it make? It's the same distance no matter how you go.
What does the woman mean? Number 28. Did you hear the announcement?
Yes, and I could hardly believe my ears.
What does the woman imply about the announcement? Number 29. Brian, could you handle this suitcase too?
How many hands do you think I have?
What does Brian mean?
Number 30.
I'm so glad I can go camping this weekend.
Then you don't have to study for that physics test after all?
What had the man originally thought about the woman?
This is the end of Part A. Go on to Part B. Now read along with the directions for Part B in your textbook as they are read to you on the tape.
Part B. Directions. This part of the test consists of extended conversations between two speakers. After each of these conversations, there are a number of questions. You will hear each conversation and question only once, and the questions are not written out. When you have heard the questions, read the 4 answer choices and select the one, A, B, C, or D, that best answers the question, based on what is directly stated or on what can be inferred. Then fill in the space on your answer sheet that matches the letter of the answer that you have selected. Don't forget, during actual exams, taking notes or writing in your test book is not permitted. Now let's begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions 31 to 34. Listen to the following conversation.
Walter, why haven't you been coming to Professor Crosley's anthropology class?
What do you mean? I've been there every morning.
Every morning? But, oh, I get it. You must be in the professor's morning class in cultural anthropology. I'm in her afternoon class in social anthropology. So tell me, how do you like her class?
Oh, it's very interesting. So far we've been studying the art, the architecture, and the tools of different cultures. And this Saturday, our class is going down to the local museum. They're having an exhibit of the artifacts of the early inhabitants of this area.
Your class has quite a different focus from mine. We're studying social relations in groups. For example, this week we've been talking about marriage customs and family life in a number of societies, including our own.
So what's your opinion of Professor Crosley?
Well, she asks her students to do a lot of work. We're going to have 2 tests and 2 research papers, but she's a fascinating lecturer. I've never taken an anthropology course before, but I'm glad I decided to take her course.
Yeah, same for me. In fact, I never thought of anthropology as an interesting subject, but now I sure do.
Number 31. What do the two speakers have in common? Number 32. When does the women's class meet? Number 33. Which of the following topics would most likely be discussed in the man's class? Number 34. What had the man's opinion of anthropology been before this term? Questions 35 to 38. Listen to the following phone conversation.
Hello, this is WBCL Community Television Studios. How may I help you?
Hello. I'm calling because I saw an advertisement in the campus newspaper. It said there was a summer internship available for a student who wants to work on your local news program.
Right, but you do realize that all of our interns are volunteers. It's an unpaid position.
Oh, sure. I understand that. I just want to get some experience working for a television news program. You see, I'm thinking about a career in television news production after I get my degree.
Oh, are you majoring in telecommunications?
No, in journalism. But I've taken some telecommunications courses.
I see. Well, you'll need to talk to Ms. Wagner. She's in charge of the internship program. But first, you'll need to come here to fill out an application form. Can you drop by the studio later today?
Number 35. Where does the woman work? Number 36. Why is the man applying for this position? Number 37. What is the man majoring in at the university? Number 38. What does the man need to do next in order to get the position?
This is the end of Part B. Go on to Part C. Now read along with the directions for Part C in your textbook as they are read to you on the tape.
Part C. Directions. This part of the test consists of several talks, each given by a single speaker. After each of these talks, there are a number of questions. You will hear each talk and question only once, and the questions are not written out. When you have heard each question, read the 4 answer choices and select the one, A, B, C, or D, that best answers the question based on what is directly stated or on what can be inferred. Then fill in the space on your answer sheet that matches the letter of the answer that you have selected. Here is an example. You will hear,
Students, this evening we'll have a chance to observe a phenomenon that we've discussed several times in class. Tonight, there will be a lunar eclipse. As we've said, when an eclipse of the moon occurs, the Earth passes between the sun and the moon. Therefore, the shadow of the Earth moves across the surface of the moon and obscures it. Because you won't be looking at the sun, it is not necessary to use the special lenses and filters that you need when observing a solar eclipse. You can observe a lunar eclipse with your unaided eye or with a telescope and photograph it with an ordinary camera. So if the weather's not cloudy tonight, go out and take a look at this eclipse of the moon. I'm sure you'll find it interesting.
Now, here is a sample question. You will hear, in what course is this lecture probably being given? You will read, A. Philosophy, B. Meteorology, C. Astronomy, D. Photography. The lecture concerns a lunar eclipse, a topic that would typically be discussed in an astronomy class. The choice that best answers the question, in what course is this lecture probably being given, is C. Astronomy. You should fill in C on your answer sheet. Here is another sample question. You will hear, according to the speaker, which of the following occurs during a lunar eclipse? You will read, A. The Earth's shadow moves across the moon. B. Clouds block the view of the moon. C. The moon moves between the Earth and the sun. D. The sun can be observed without special equipment. From the lecture, you learn that a lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth moves between the sun and the moon, and the shadow of the Earth passes across the moon. The choice that best answers the question, according to the speaker, which of the following occurs during a lunar eclipse, is A. The Earth's shadow moves across the moon. Don't forget, during actual exams, taking notes or writing in your test book is not permitted. Now let's begin Part C with the first talk. Questions 39 to 42. Listen to the following lecture. How many of you were at the football game Saturday night? Did you notice the blimp circling the stadium? Today's blimps are much smaller descendants of the giant airships, sometimes called zeppelins, that were used in the early 20th century. Like those zeppelins, blimps are lighter-than-air aircraft. But blimps differ from zeppelins in a number of ways. First, as I said, they are quite a bit smaller. The old airships were as long as football fields. And unlike zeppelins, blimps do not contain an internal metal frame. That's why blimps are sometimes called non-rigid airships. And blimps are a lot safer than the old zeppelins. That's because they use non-flammable helium in place of hydrogen to provide lift. As you may know, the age of the airship ended when the famous German airship Hindenburg exploded disastrously at Lakehurst, New Jersey in 1937. I say that airship travel ended then, but some engineers believe that large, rigid airships will fly again. These airships of the future could be equipped with jet engines and filled with helium. Although they wouldn't be as fast as modern airplanes, they would be much more fuel efficient. Number 39. What is the main topic of this talk? Number 40. Which of the following aircraft is classified as non-rigid? Number 41. What important event in the history of airships took place at Lakehurst, New Jersey in 1937? Number 42. According to the talk, what advantage would the airships of the future have over jet airplanes? Questions 43 to 46. Listen to the following talk.
Twice a year, all the clocks in the United States are changed by 1 hour. In the spring, clocks are moved ahead an hour. This is called daylight saving time. In the fall, clocks are set back an hour to standard time. People remember how to change their clocks by remembering this saying, spring forward, fall back. It seems Benjamin Franklin was the first person to propose the idea of daylight saving time, back in the 1790s. At the time, people thought he was joking. They couldn't believe he was serious. Many years later, during World War I, people realized what an innovative idea he'd had. In the spring and summer, the sun rises earlier. By moving the clock ahead, people can take advantage of the extra daylight and save energy. Energy is an important resource, of course, especially during wartime. The United States operated on daylight saving time during World War I and again during World War II. After that, some parts of the country observed daylight saving time and some didn't. Beginning and ending dates varied from place to place. This confusion ended in 1966, when the Congress passed the Uniform Time Act, standardizing the process and making daylight saving time a federal law. Since then, some lawmakers have proposed that the United States go to year-round daylight saving time.
Number 43. What is the main topic of this talk? Number 44. According to the speaker, when are clocks in the United States set back? Number 45. According to the speaker, how would most people probably have characterized Benjamin Franklin's plan for daylight saving time when it was first proposed? Number 46. According to the speaker, what was the effect of the Uniform Time Act of 1966? Questions 47 to 50. Listen to the following radio announcement.
This week, the city will begin a new program of curbside recycling. If you take your recyclable materials out to the street, the city will haul them away in trucks to be recycled. At present, you can recycle newspapers, aluminum cans, and glass containers. The trucks will not pick up plastic bottles. However, if you want to recycle plastic bottles, you can take them to the City Recycling Center on Pine Street. If you live in the north or west side of town, trucks will pick up your recyclables on Monday. If you live in the east or south part of town, your recyclables will be picked up on Wednesday. If you live in the central section of town, your pickup day is Friday. For more details, see the map in today's newspaper. And remember, when it comes to newspaper, aluminum, and glass, don't throw it away. Recycle it.
Number 47. What is the main topic of this talk? Number 48. Which of the following must be brought to the city's facility on Pine Street to be recycled? Number 49. In which part of town are recyclables picked up on Friday? Number 50. To get more information, what does the speaker suggest? This is the end of Section 1, Listening Comprehension. Stop work on Section 1.